Welcome to Dub Nation, your home for all things Golden State Warriors. Highlights, hot takes, and pure Dubs energy. Join the squad. This is where champions live.
That feels very disrespectful
By Golden
to
State.
the Warriors this year.
Like, without Butler any of the time, any of the games.
And what does that say? And you know this team has been the #1 defensive team in the league since Jimmy Butler has made the trade. And you know the reason why everybody keeps talking about how great they were against the Lakers and the physicality. And I give them a lot of credit for that. But when I know that the Lakers play ISO basketball and the Lakers also play more of a containment defense, the thing that makes Warriors basketball really good now is the fact they actually put pressure on the perimeter.
Dub Nation, brace for impact. The Golden State Warriors, once the untouchable emperors of the NBA, are staring down a crisis that threatens to bury their dynasty. Without Jimmy Butler, the linchpin of their #1 defense since his blockbuster trade, this team is unraveling at the seams. Let's hit you with the raw numbers. Last season, the Warriors suffocated opponents with a league-leading 104.2 defensive rating, forcing a measly 44.9% field goal percentage across 82 games. In the playoffs, they obliterated the Lakers' ISO-heavy offense, holding LeBron James and Anthony Davis to a combined 42% shooting over 6 brutal games. That relentless perimeter pressure, that in-your-face physicality, turned Chase Center into a fortress. But now, with Butler sidelined, the Warriors' defensive soul is bleeding out. The perimeter, once a steel wall, is now a crumbling ruin. Can 2 second-round picks, Alex Tuhi and Will Richard, resurrect this fading empire? Or are we witnessing the final act of a tragic saga? Tonight, we're diving into the heart of this drama, grading each selection, and delivering the unfiltered truth on Golden State's draft gamble. We'll unpack the trade that shook the Bay Area, dissect the prospect's potential, and ask the burning question: is this the end of an era? This is going to be a wild ride, so strap in, because the stakes are astronomical, and Dub Nation deserves answers. Before we rip into the picks, let's unravel the trade that left fans furious. Why ditch pick 41? And what does it say about the Warriors' trust in these rookies? Let's dive into the chaos. Let's talk about the move that set Dub Nation ablaze, a decision so bold, so infuriating, it feels like a knife in the back. The Warriors held the 41st pick, a golden ticket to snag a specialist, a sharpshooter like Kobe Bryant, who torched Kentucky with a blistering 41.2% from 3 on 4.8 attempts per game, a perfect fit for Steve Kerr's motion offense. Bryant could have stretched defenses, giving Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson the space they crave, but what did Mike Dunleavy do? He traded it to Phoenix for picks 52 and 59. This wasn't just a trade. It was a gut punch to a fan base starving for a game changer. The front office bet on quantity over quality, tossing darts blindly and praying for a miracle. Those darts, Alex Tuhi and Will Richard, 2 wings, 0 front court help, in a roster already choking with players like Gui Santos, Moses Moody, and Jonathan Kuminga, with only 15 roster spots and a desperate need for a big man, someone to anchor the paint as Draymond Green, now 35, fights the ravages of time. Why double down on wings? The Warriors' 2024-25 season was a 48-34 roller coaster, rocketing up the West after Butler's arrival, but crashing against Minnesota in 5 games after Curry's hamstring injury, with $139.6 million tied to their top 3 players and a $154 million salary cap. Every move counts. The Warriors' title odds on FanDuel are a grim plus 12,500. A stark reminder of their fall from glory. This trade screams desperation. A front office scrambling while Curry's prime slips away. Was it a savvy move to grab 2 cheap contracts, or a cowardly retreat from bold action? Dub Nation, we're demanding answers, because this complacency is a slap in the face. So, who is Alex Tuhi, the Australian mystery man at 52? Is he a hidden gem, or a roster clogger doomed to obscurity? Let's tear his game apart. At pick 52, the Warriors rolled the dice on Alex Tuhi, a 6'8", 223-pound wing from Australia's Sydney Kings. On paper, he's intriguing, a versatile forward with a 6'10 3/4 wingspan, a tough defender with a knack for passing. But let's cut through the hype. This guy's a walking red flag. His stats tell a grim story. 10, 6 points, 4, 0 rebounds, and a pedestrian 31% from 3-on-2, 9 attempts per game in the NBL. His athleticism, a laughable 31.5-inch max vertical, barely enough to dunk in a pickup game, rebounding. At 4, 0 boards per game, he's practically invisible for a 6'8" forward. No ceilings compares him to Jake Layman, Isaac Bonga, and Josh Hart. But here's the brutal truth. Hart's an elite rebounder, averaging 8, 3 boards in his prime. While Tuhi's allergic to the glass, sure, he's got a high basketball IQ, ranking in the 78th percentile for dribble handoffs. A theoretical fit for Kerr's pass-heavy offense. He grinds on defense, averaging 4 steals and 8 blocks, and his 4 assists show transition, playmaking. But in a league where specialists dominate, being good at everything, great at nothing, is a death sentence. The Warriors' rotation is a Logyam Gui Santos, a similar connector, averaged just 4 minutes last season. Tuhi's 21, turning 22, ancient for an international prospect. ESPN's Jonathan Givony calls him tough, smart, and energetic, but admits his streaky jumper and lack of elite athleticism limit his ceiling. Kevin O'Connor compares him to Georgia's Niang, a 40% three-point shooter. But Tuhi's nowhere near that. Will he crack Kerr's lineup or waste away in Santa Cruz? This pick's a D+, a massive whiff when they could have had Brea or a big like Maxime Reynaud, who averaged 15, 5 points and 6 rebounds at Stanford. Dub Nation. Are you swallowing this hype? Or is it time to storm Chase Center? If Tuhi's a bust, what about Will Richard at 56? Could this Florida Gator be the steal that redeems this draft? Let's dive into his game. Now, let's turn to pick 56, Will Richard, a 6'4" Florida Gator with a 6'9" wingspan and a fire in his gut. This guy's a defensive menace, racking up 69 steals in 2024-25 and fueling Florida's national championship run, with a monster 18 points, 8 rebounds, 4 threes, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block in the title, Gamea Historic 75. 6%. True shooting performance. His 36, 3%, three-point shooting over 3 seasons at Florida, 203 career triples, 10th in Gators history isn't elite, but it's clutch. With a 493,684 shooting split as a senior, no ceiling sees Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Keon Ellis in him. A knockdown shooter who clamps guards and wings. That's a lifeline for a Warriors team bleeding on the perimeter without Butler's 9 steals per game. Richard averaged 13, 3 points, 4, 6 rebounds, and 7 steals in 40 games. With 22 games of multiple steals, NBA.com compares him to Malik Beasley and Alex Caruso, praising his on-ball and off-ball defense. But here's the rub. At 23, he's no young buck. His playmaking is weak, averaging 9 assists, and with Moses Moody entrenched in the 2-3, role averaging 1 points and 0 rebounds last seasonus. Richard, just a clone. The Warriors traded up from 59 to 56 to snag him, passing on bigs like Reynaud. Mike Dunleavy calls him a two-way player who fits their system, but his 5% college three-point shooting isn't lights out. If Richard becomes KCP 2.0, it's a heist. If he's stuck behind Moody, it's a wasted pick. I'm giving this a strong fit, but no game changer. Dub Nation, what's your verdict? Is Richard the spark to reignite this team? Or another name lost in the shuffle? Tuhi and Richard are locked in. But did this draft save the Warriors, or doom them? It's time for the final judgment brace for the truth. Here we stand, Dub Nation, at the edge of hope and heartbreak. The Warriors' 2025 draft Alex Tuhi and Will Ricardis, a high-stakes gamble that feels like a fever dream. No front-court help, no elite shooter. Just 2 wings in a roster bursting at the seams, trading down from 41 screams indecision. A betrayal of the championship DNA that once defined this franchise. With Stephen Curry, 37, and Draymond Green, 35, running out of time. Every move is life or death. Tuhi's a D+, a connector who might never see the floor, likely headed for Santa Cruz with his 31% three-point shooting and 0 rebounds per game. Richard's a B, a potential 3-and-D gem with 69 steals and 3% three-point shooting. But his ceiling's capped at 23. Together, a C-grade draft, painfully average, leaving the Warriors' frontcourt crisis untouched. Where's the 7-footer to dominate the paint? Where's the sniper to stretch defenses? The Warriors' 48-34 season ended in a playoff loss to Minnesota, exposing their lack of size and depth with $139, $6 million tied to Curry, Green, and Butler, and a $154 million salary cap. This feels like disrespect to a fan base that's bled blue and gold. We're demanding change now. Drop your grades in the comments. A, B, C, D, or F. Smash that like button if you're as outraged as we are. The Warriors' dynasty is on life support. Will these picks save it or pull the plug? The draft is over, but the battle's just begun. Hit subscribe and join us next time as we dissect the Warriors' free agency move scan they salvaged this offseason. Don't miss it. This is Dub Nation, where Warriors never back down. Hit that like, drop a comment, and stay locked in for the next big play. Till next time, Dubs out.